Hey, oh, no, you can't read it. Sorry. This is my client's confidential business plan. I know you didn't want to read it, but this idea of protecting your confidential information is so important for many small businesses. Back in the day, I used to practice law. Now, I have since come to my senses. I don't do that anymore. But when I did, I had all sorts of different clients who encountered this issue on a consistent basis, and that is, how do you protect your great idea or your business plan or your customer list or whatever confidential information you have in your business? I remember one time I had a client whose employee left and took a bunch of customers and clients with him, and he wanted to know what he could do. Well, the problem was he had never protected himself against that kind of thing. And so while it might have been illegal and maybe not, it was an issue we had to deal with the employee. What I want to do is help you not encounter that issue. And there's a couple things you can do to protect your confidential information, a couple of documents you can create and share with your employees, with your vendors, with your partners, with your associates, so that your confidential information remains confidential, and that your secret sauce remains a secret. There's 4 different documents you might want to consider having when it comes to confidential business information. The first is a non-disclosure agreement, an N.D.A. Now, what's an N.D.A.? Well, it is what it sounds like, which is it's an agreement between you and someone else that says you're going to share confidential information, and it is not to be disclosed without your prior written approval and consent. That way you can share your idea with someone else and be pretty confident that they can't steal it for themselves or share it with someone else that you don't want it shared with. The second document you might want to consider is something called a non-compete agreement. Now, I'm not your lawyer, and non-compete agreements have different value and power and legality in different jurisdictions, so you really, with all these things, need to speak with your own attorney. But a non-compete agreement basically is that. It says that for a certain amount of time, the employee or associate or whoever it is not going to compete with you in a certain area. And that's another way to protect your confidential information. The third is something called a non-solicitation agreement. And again, it is what it sounds like. And that is an agreement that just says that whoever you're sharing your information with is not going to solicit your customers away from you. Now, we are in a free market economy. This is capitalism. A lot of things are fair. So you, again, have to check this out with your own attorney to figure out a way to do that properly in your city, state, region, whatever it is. And the last thing you want to do is keep your confidential information confidential. It's your trade secret. So you might want to have an agreement that says, I have certain information that's confidential. Here's what we're doing to keep it confidential. It is our proprietary trade secret, and you can't use it without our permission. Those 4 agreements are going to go a long way to allowing you to share the information you need to share to grow your business, but remain confident that it's going to stay your information and not become that of the general public. So that's the idea. My friend, who's in the process of creating the next big, great golf gadget, had to share his idea and his prototype with all sorts of people to get it to market. And how did he do it? With contracts like I just shared with you. So that's the idea.